What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quarter, and we've got some spicy news today. It appears that finally some independent channels who have been purged from the YouTube platform are pushing back and demanding answers in the form of a lawsuit. And if you've been following YouTube for any amount of time, you know that not only can they ban people for legitimate reasons, they can also ban people for spurious, seemingly on a whim reasons, providing no information why. YouTube and Twitter are littered with people reaching out to YouTube saying, "Why did you ban me? Can you let me know why you banned me? I don't know. You never gave me an email. Why?" Heck, I can look at my own inbox and have, many of you reach out to me. By the way, I still get stories at thequartering@gmail.com telling me, hey, my favorite channel got banned. I don't know why. He doesn't know why. They don't know why. This is just the world we live in on YouTube, which is why I so vehemently support alt tech, which is why you can find every possible way to contact me in every description of my videos. I have a Discord. I have a subreddit. I have a Parler. I have a Twitter. I have email. However you want to get at me, I try to make myself available to you because our time here on YouTube is, of course, limited. My channel itself right now seems to be going through something weird, some sort of pullback on impressions for videos. So if you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below and making sure you turn notifications on. It takes just 1 second. I know it's annoying sometimes. Not every video is going to be for you, but it would really, really matter a lot to me if you subscribed so that I know that you're getting the videos. Now, banned YouTube channels are now suing YouTube over its anti-specific content moderation push. Both plaintiffs and the public will suffer irreparable harm, the lawsuit claims. Now, YouTube is facing a suit from a group of channel owners who say their rights were violated by the platform's recent moderation against a particular type of content. These are contents of wild ideas, we'll say. I can't say the name, apparently. The users, many of whom boasted hundreds of thousands of followers on the platform, are seeking a temporary restraining order to restore their accounts. Quote, YouTube's mass deplatforming, which occurred just 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks before the 2020 presidential election, worked to severe detriment of both the conservative content creators and the American voters who seek out their content, the complainant alleges. YouTube took this draconian action so swiftly that the plaintiffs received no advance notice and were not able to download their own content. This is why I constantly tell people, yes, it is very important that you have a presence on YouTube. Honestly, it's the only realistic way to earn a living making content right now. But if you grow on BitChute or Odyssey, you can turn that into a living. If you build an audience, you can support yourself, because especially when you're against like kind of the mainstream narrative, so many of you, there's a Subscribestar link in my description, right? It's like a free speech version of Patreon. Those that back me there are like my most important, my most precious source of income, or people that use the join button here on YouTube. Either one. Because regardless of whatever YouTube is doing to my channel that month, or regardless if the news is gone or whatever, I still have that, and it actually, I mean, it literally helps with anxiety, because I always know that I've got a steady paycheck because my viewers go hard and they back me on Subscribestar, or they click the join button here on YouTube. Without that, there's no way that I would be able to even sleep at night, knowing just how quickly YouTube is able to remove people without any notice or any chance to even warn your viewers. Like, look, if you want to remove this content, you should at least give them a chance to like put out a video and say, hey, go follow me on these other platforms. Now, Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act typically protects platforms from suits over moderation actions. And this law is likely to be the pillar of YouTube's legal defense. Republicans have proposed adding a duty of faith clause to Section 230, which would make it easier for suits of this nature to succeed, but none of those efforts have made it into law. As a result, the lawsuit's legal merit remains uncertain. That's fair. Obviously, this is coming from The Verge. We know The Verge supports deplatforming of people whose ideas that they don't like. Reach for comment. Google emphasizes commitment to even-handed moderation. We cannot comment on pending litigation, but our policies are updated regularly to meet new challenges, like harmful theories that have been used to justify real-world behavior. Oh, really? There are plenty of far-left channels on your platform that spout crazy ideas. I mean, I'm not going to name names because I don't want them to get deplatformed, but I'm just saying I don't have to look very far to find very popular content creators who espouse real-world ideas that lead to bad things. But the problem is they're on the left side of the aisle, the one you agree with. A company representative said, "We have a dedicated policy team that works to review our policies and adjust them as needed. We apply those policies consistently regardless of who owns a channel." Bullshit. At least one of the channels involved in the suit has run into trouble with moderators before the October 15th policy shift. The SGT Report channel, run by the lead plaintiff in this case, was suspended in 2018 after promoting claims about some people whom I really love and respect and have no problem with. Please don't. Please don't. Another account, TRU Reporting, has promoted a number of various theories on Twitter, including claims that, other claims. Now, again, so what? At the worst, the worst thing I would, understand is if their channel was subject to more regular demonetization. Okay, that's an argument that I'll listen to. But the fact that you just wiped them off the platform tells me that you are not acting. Again, YouTube can do as they wish. I'm not saying they can't. They're a private company, okay? But if they're going to act as a content moderator, a content publisher, and not a content platform, then they do not get the protections of Section 230. Don't tell me that it wasn't, don't tell me it was a coincidence that these channels were banned 2 weeks before the election. I mean, come on. I'm not stupid. Smash like if you're also not stupid. The suit further claims that the moderation move as a targeting conservative YouTube channels, more generally playing into the long-standing Republican concerns about anti-conservative bias on the platform. Of course, that exists. The complaint cites plaintiffs' free speech rights under the First Amendment, arguing that the removal of their channels this week running up to the election will trigger irreparable harm to the public. Because plaintiffs' channels addressed issues of public concern that are highly relevant to the November 3rd election and its anticipated aftermath. The complaint reads that both plaintiffs and the public will suffer irreparably in the absence of an immediate and affirmative injunction. This is 74 pages long. And, someone like Nick Rekieta would probably spend a long time going through this. They say on October 15th, 2020, YouTube announced an expansion of its policies to remove content used to justify real-world behaviors, but did not actually amend its TOS with the announcement. On October 15th, YouTube posted a blog post in which it indicated, "Today we are taking another step in our efforts to curb content we don't like." On October 15th, YouTube abruptly instigated a mass purge of conservative accounts, including those operated by those plaintiffs, based on certain rules and policies in a manner that violated its TOS. Now, of course, YouTube breached the TOS by suspending these accounts without cause as defined in the TOS. As set forth below, particularly as to each plaintiff, YouTube breached TOS because it suspended or terminated these accounts of the plaintiffs despite the fact that A, the plaintiffs and each of them did not repeatedly or materially or breach the agreement with TOS, and there was no legal requirement or court order with YouTube had to comply by suspending or terminating these accounts. C, YouTube did not believe there was conduct that creates liability to harm to the third party, YouTube or its affiliates. YouTube, of course, breached the TOS by failing to provide a reason for an account suspension. YouTube violated California contract law by amending TOS in a manner that frustrated their purpose. YouTube engaged in state action by capitulating to government coercion to terminate plaintiffs' accounts that thus violated plaintiffs' rights to free speech under the First Amendment. If you're engaged in state action, plaintiffs' First Amendment rights have been violated. I mean, do I think that this suit will go anywhere? Probably not. But it's important. I mean, you see, of course, Verge's audience is full of clowns that support this. But you've got to understand that you can separate the type of content that they're putting out. It did not violate TOS at the time in which it was being created. At minimum, they should have been able to given a chance to change the type of content that they create. In my opinion, YouTube continues to act like a publisher and not a platform, and should not be protected by current Section 230 protections. But that's just my opinion. I hope you enjoyed this video, though. Please follow me on alternative platforms. There's many. In fact, I'll finish this video with a reminder about them. It's me. I'm the sponsor. And all I want to do is remind you that I have a thriving Discord community I'd like you to join. I have a strong presence on Twitter Alternative Parlor. You can find me on Twitter. And you can join my subreddit. I'd love to see you on all 4 platforms. Links are in the description of this video. You can also support the channel by clicking that join button down below, becoming a member here on YouTube, or signing up at my Subscribe Star, which is also linked in the description below. Both forms of support go miles to support people like my wonderful editor, Sean. Or my wonderful thumbnail creator, Ben. You don't have to do these things or join these communities, but it would be neat if you did. Now let's get on with the video.